palette, for this painting, I'm going to use my permanent yellow deep as well as opera to create a shade that looks peachish, which you see towards the bottom of the painting. Now, you may have this existing shade with you, or you may create it exactly the way I'm using, or else you can go ahead and use orange shade in case you cannot create this peaches shade. That's absolutely fine. Mix some amount of yellow and red to get that color. Going ahead with royal blue. Now, in case you do not have this royal blue from the brand Cerulean, you can of course go ahead with any kind of cerulean blue. That can also work as an alternative color. Going ahead with indigo. In case you do not have indigo, please go ahead with any kind of a Prussian blue, mix a bit of black in it, or else just go with the other shades of Payne's Gray where you have more of blue in it. And the last would be my neutral tint. So these are all the shades I'm going to use. Neutral tint will be basically used for my clouds. I have already taped down my paper and I'm making a mix of this particular shade, which is the beautiful peaches shade. Do note that the color will dry just one shade lighter because we are going ahead with wet on dry method. Now, what is wet on dry method? I have this big flat brush which is having my wet pigments. I'm applying it on the dry paper and hence you are getting this. I would highly recommend if you are a beginner to go ahead and check out the techniques section where I've explained all of these techniques in various detail before you go ahead and attempt this tattoo. Now, blending the royal blue color with the peachish shade that we have already added towards the bottom area. Along with it, I would go ahead with some of my indigo. Indigo and the royal blue are going to be lighter in values. Hence, I'm not using a really dark value of both of them towards the top area. You will see that the blending only happens horizontally. It really doesn't happen vertically. So do not try to add it vertically. You will get patches which we really don't want in this painting. Adding some more of my royal blue towards the middle part and then blending it to get that beautiful blue shade of the royal blue color that looks more soft and nice. Once this part is done, I have to just add some more of the color towards the bottom area. So the bottom area needs to be a bit more wet compared to the top area where I am not adding any more of the water. Now water is being added only with the color in this painting and clearing off the edges. Now this is the portion where I am going to actually concentrate on the clouds. And that's one of the reasons that I am keeping this area more wet compared to any of my other areas on the top. You can see I'm going ahead with a mix of my indigo, some of the neutral tint. I am also using a bit of my opera as well as royal blue into it. I'm using mostly all the shades that we have used in the top and the bottom part of the painting. Going with non-directional cloud, and hence you can see that I am making some structures which look more circular in shape while in the middle. Whereas when I go towards the bottom, it would be more horizontal kind of a structure. You have already learned some amount in terms of the cloud formation from all my bite-sized lesson which are given initially, and hence this part will become easier for you to follow along. I am again going ahead and using my thicker brush because my thinnest brush cannot hold a lot of colors. And right now, I think I have the correct amount of moisture on the paper, which can help me to paint these clouds. I'm not going to touch it over here to a great extent, and you will see that I'm going to leave it as such. All the clouds painting that you are doing right now is done within 4 to 5 minutes time. We do not want to keep adding the clouds or keep working on the cloud or the sky area if the paper is dry. Now, when the paper turns dry, what happens is that you will get patches, and that is really not required in a soft watercolor clouds painting. Continue to add few more lines as you go towards the bottom. It would be more thinner clouds compared to what we have added a bit towards the top area. Once this part is dry completely, we will go with a bit of my horizon. Horizon is very simple. We are going to go ahead with the same mix of the clouds and some amount of your peach color that you did prepare earlier into it to get a lighter value. We will have one more line of our mountains in the foreground. So there are two lines, one is in the background and one is in the foreground. We are going to concentrate only on these two kind of our mountains. Of course, I have kept my horizons very, very simple in most of the paintings. And hardly there are paintings where you will see the horizon changing to a great extent or the landscapes changing in the horizon, because the whole concentration is the clouds. Then why do we need to think much about the horizon? Some buildings, some lines, water, and maybe mountainscapes, whatever I could think of is what I have added. And sometimes just simple line to show that there are fields which are existing. I'm using the 185 GSM paper, which actually makes the paper go dry very quickly. But if you're not confident enough with the 185 GSM paper and you're just a beginner, please go ahead with a 300 GSM paper. I'm pretty sure about it. You would be in a position to nail all the paintings that you are doing. 185 GSM paper stays wet for a lesser period of time and it will give you less time to work upon it. Having said that, if you are more experienced or if you have worked with 185 GSM, I would strongly suggest you to go ahead and work with only that paper. You will be in a position to get or achieve great results even with the kind of cotton paper I'm suggesting you. So a GSM, yes, to an extent it is important, but around 200 and above is great to go ahead with. For handmade papers, I would request you to go with only 300 GSM or more rather than going with lesser. I think I am happy with how I have added the foreground mountain. This is majorly with the same color, that is neutral tint, which we had on the palette. Let's remove the day pattern angle once the paper is dried off and have a look at this final painting.